Hi everybody, good morning and welcome to Rappler. Today we're going to have a roundtable discussion championing Filipino engineers when it comes to their innovations to solve problems when it comes to water, sanitation, sustainability, and ultimately the environment. My name's Isa Lito and please do join me with our panelists today. We have Mr. Reginald M. Andal. He is the Executive Director of the Manila Water Foundation. Good morning.
Good
Mr.
morning,
Reggie.
Isa. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Joining us also is Engineer Federico A. Monsada, the President of the Philippine Technological Council. Good morning, Engineer.
Good morning. Good morning.
And last but not least, one of the awardees of the Manila Water Foundation's Prize for Engineering Excellence, Dr. Ricardo F. Orge, Senior Science Research Specialist of the Philippine Rice Research Institute, and also the 2019 CSE Presidential Lingkod Bayan Awardee.
Good morning po.
Wow.
Good morning sa lahat.
These are amazing awards. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay, championing Filipino engineers. First things first, ano ba ang engineer? Di ba? For me, it's like something mechanical. There's a civil engineer. What else are the different? Chemical engineer?
Metallurgical, like me.
Like steel
Yes,
corporation.
yes.
Let's break it down. Ano nga ba ang isang engineer?
An engineer is one who uses the principles of science, engineering, mathematics, and use this to be able to design a product, a process, or a system of doing things. And that is an engineer.
So you can design, you can build, and you can
Yes.
operate.
Operate.
So
Yes.
iba't iba pa rin yun. You cannot do, pwede you can do all three, but each has its own specialty.
That should be, an engineer should be able to do all of those things, especially when he has gained experience from the very first time that he graduate from the university up to probably 15 years, he should be doing all of those things already.
So like with lawyers and doctors, di ba may law school, may med school, may
Yeah.
engineering school or engineering programs requirements, syempre.
There are engineering schools in the country, 535 of them.
Oh, adami.
Yes.
Adami.
And normally it takes 5 years for one to complete the engineering program.
On top of graduating
top.
from college or university pa.
On top of graduating from the high school.
High school. Okay, so
Yes.
it's within the university units, kumbaga. Yun na
Yes.
yung college level mo.
Yes.
To be able to earn the title of engineer.
Yes.
Kamusta na ba yung graduate outputs ng engineers today? Like, is it on the rise or wala masyadong nagiging engineer?
So far in the last 10 years, our enrollment for engineering has remained fairly at the level,
The same.
like same.
Okay.
And about 75 to 85,000 graduate from those, out of those 300 to 400,000 student at any given time.
Okay.
And,
But it's not on the rise. The population is rising.
Yes.
Demands for jobs are rising.
Yes.
But the numbers getting into this field are not. It's
not.
stagnant. So that's
Yes.
actually not a good thing. We want to encourage more people.
Well, if you look at developed countries, they are aiming for, say, 1:100. That means for every 100 population, there should at least be one
Engineer.
engineer or engineering professional, if I may use the term.
Actually, that's one of the very good evidences that you are in a good developing country. Am I wrong, Mr. Andal? That, syempre, when it comes to certain systems, especially in nation building, there has to be engineers.
Right.
Right? So be it, again, they're the basics. Water, transportation, sanitation, all these are needed.
Right.
And-
Arguably, when we talk about national development, engineering profession should be at the core of it. Not having prejudice to other professions.
Oo.
Whenever there are certain bar passers or board passers, those news are already on the front page of the newspapers. But whenever there are certain releases of board passers for engineering, you will only find them in page 20 or page 25.
Why is that? We should
Diba?
really give more importance
That's true.
diba, to engineers. That you are valued and more, you're needed.
Yes.
You are so needed.
That's
Even
right.
food, that's why Dr. Orge is here. He's in the rice We'll talk about your rice invention
That's
and
nice.
award, which is why he was able to get this presidential award later on. So yes, engineers, be it civil, metallurgical, mechanical, chemical, the demand is there. And again, let's concretize this idea that engineers are needed when it comes to nation building by actually talking about the different issues and problems already, which engineers only can address and fill in. So first things first, water. Everyone, especially ngayon, sa area ko kasi ngayon, cut off ang water from midnight to 1 a.m.
Alright.
Diba? So water shortage is one thing, but water systems and even sanitation, how does an engineer come in here or address that?
Yeah. As part of a study, there is a number like there is already about 9 million Filipinos who do not have access
To water.
to basic drinking water. There are also about 10 million Filipinos who do not have access to basic sanitation facilities. And these are issues that we are now facing, especially in the area of water and sanitation, that engineering professions and even Manila Water are trying to resolve.
Yes.
So that is why right now in the Industrial Revolution 4.0, it is very important that we really entice people to go into engineering profession so they could help into the resolution of all these issues. Sabi nga natin, it can be water, it can be sanitation, it can be traffic, and all those specific issues that engineering profession can provide resolutions.
So an engineer comes in, again, you already like Manila Water has a system. So an engineer can be hired by Manila Water to implement, to build, and to run. So those alone are job opportunities.
That's correct.
Because they might think there's no money in engineering. There is. Because again, these are jobs that are needed. And at the very basic level, imagine each barangay having to run their own, right? And that is exactly what Manila Water is trying to do also or address. What's the difference between sanitation water and providing water?
Well, water in itself, of course, there is a certain process there, from water source development, of course, to the water treatment, to the water distribution. Sanitation, once you use that water, that becomes the wastewater. And ensuring that before we bring them back to the bodies of water, it has to be cleaned. So it is the entire process of the supply chain of water that Manila Water is providing services to for about 21 years right now. And that is why with the success that Manila Water has done in the East Zone of Metro Manila, we are now trying to pursue and helping other institutions and other organizations to provide such technical expertise on water and sanitation
To the rest of the country.
to the rest of the country. That's why we already have about 15 to 20 subsidiaries of Manila Water, so that the Manila Water people, its core expertise in water sanitation can be propagated to these areas.
And of course, think basic barangay level. Every Filipino should have a right, diba? Have access to this. It's a basic need.
That's correct.
Let's try to provide that. What about rice? Another hot issue now because of our rice farmers. Let's talk about Dr. Orge's contribution to this. You're one of the awardees recently nga of the CSC Presidential Lingkod ng Bayan awardee. President Duterte himself handed you this award. Let's talk about your invention, this continuous type rice hull carbonizer. How are you helping to rice problems?
Actually, ang continuous type rice hull carbonizer is just a machine that processes rice hull, which is waste, byproduct.
Ito yung cover ng bigas.
Ito yung cover ng grain, yeah.
Oo.
Cover noong butil ng palay. It processes this covering into charcoal. We call it biochar.
Hindi to charcoal na pang-uling,
yeah.
pang-luto. It's
Ito
not.
yung charcoal, carbonized material na intended for incorporation sa lupa.
So, ibabalik sa lupa.
Ibabalik sa lupa dahil marami siyang gamit, agricultural uses. One is soil conditioner, pinapaganda ang property ng lupa, yung water holding capacity ng lupa.
Para hindi dry.
Yeah, it also makes the soil conducive for the growth of beneficial bacteria that helps enhance the fertility of the soil. Sa mga nag-aalaga ng babuyan o manukan, it suppresses odor
Oh, that's good.
doon sa...
That's a plus for me.
So, marami siyang gamit in agriculture. So, in the past, rice hull is a waste.
Oo.
In fact, sa Nueva Ecija, we can see a lot of dumped rice hulls along the road noong time na yon. So, part ng researchers ng PhilRice is to make develop technologies that would utilize these waste into something
Useful.
useful.
Diba? So it's a nice cycle, kumbaga. Huwag magtapon.
Yeah.
Again, all this idea of waste, pwedeng magamit, gamitin natin. And that's what you came up with, Doc.
Yes. Ang isang may environmental benefit dahil ang being a carbonized material, may stored carbon that is fixed. Ibig sabihin, hindi na siya nawawala for centuries. So it actually helps reduce greenhouse gases because ang
Na
halaman
nagpapainit ng mundo.
na nagpapainit ng mundo. Ang halaman habang buhay pa, it absorbs carbon dioxide, it's a greenhouse gas. And then it became part of the system ng halaman. When we carbonize it, hindi lahat ng carbon na absorb ay babalik sa atmosphere, kundi
It will stay.
and remain for centuries. So net effect, nabawasan yung
Carbon
greenhouse
dioxide
gas
and
na.
greenhouse gases. And
Yes.
again, it also, hindi lang nabawasan yung greenhouse gases, but it also helps support
Yes.
soil growth and soil rich, to make it rich.
And one thing more, during the process of carbonization, heat is generated. So yung mga common processes in carbonizing material, wasted lang yung heat. But this machine could recover that heat and for various uses sa farm. So it's used in, the most popular now is for mushroom production.
Mushroom.
Yeah, in
Yung
the
sa mga
production of
vegetarian dyan,
mushroom,
protein substitute nila yun. Diba? Oh.
may isang operation doon stage na kailangan i-pasteurize yung fruiting bags. These fruiting bags nandoon yung
Mushrooms.
yung tutubo na mushroom. So we need to pasteurize it. That is why we need heat. Ang common practice ay they made use of wood. Pag gagamit ka ng wood, minsan negative na ang ano doon kasi puputol ka ng kahoy. So
Okay,
one
again,
thing-
let's minimize cutting of trees. So this is another
So-
alternative.
It's an alternative to wood and to fossil-based fuel.
Well, definitely, it does help the environment from greenhouse gas effects, reducing that, to fertilizing the soil, making it more rich, so
Yes.
that you can grow even more products, to making sure you don't cut more wood to grow mushrooms. Ang daming ina-address, ha?
Yeah.
The mind of an engineer, again, you parang connect lahat. Hindi lang pwedeng one price to address one particular need.
Right.
Yeah. Ang ano talaga reason behind we just want to create something, added income opportunity sa ating mga farmers.
And this is one of them.
Yeah, this is one of them.
And of course, you discovered the Manila Water Foundation came up with a prize for engineering excellence. They actually started in 2015, and they do so every 2 years. So 2015 was the first. Dr. Orge is one of the awardees in 2017, and we're going to talk about their finalists this 2019 in just a bit. But to bring about this initiative to encourage Filipino engineers, let's talk about the Manila Water Foundation's plans or why it came about.
Right. Manila Water Foundation significantly focuses on the provision of water access, sanitation, and hygiene, or what we call WASH. But of course, as part of a bigger community, we would like, of course, to highlight as well sustainability, the usage of the current needs of the resources while not compromising these resources for future needs.
That's true.
That is
it has
why-
to keep going.
That's correct. That is why from just focusing on water access and sanitation, we're also moving towards recognizing engineers who have innovations that would solve developmental problems in the environment and sustainability in general.
Not just water though, right?
Not
because
just
like
water.
with Dr. Orge's
That's correct.
case, it was about rice.
Yes. So it's all about sustainability in general. So that is why in 2015, this is a program in partnership with Department of Science and Technology and the Philippine Technological Council. They are so helpful in propagating this program and of course encouraging engineers to be part of the program. So in 2015, we have 5 awardees when we had the inaugural launch. So we have Dr. Demafilis of UPLB, we We have Dr. Marciano and Dr. Parinit of University of the Philippines, Diliman. We have Dr. Tabuada of the University of San Carlos, and then Dr. Palencia of Adamson University.
All the universities are very, very proud hearing their universities.
Yes.
The product namin yan.
That's
They're with
correct.
us.
And on our second run in 2017, we are so fortunate to find Dr. Orge, of course, of the PhilRice, who is the sole awardee in 2017.
Nag-iisa ka lang.
Yes.
Ikaw lang yung masipag noong 2017.
That is why now, in our third run, we have received 12 entries or 12 nominees. And as you have mentioned, we will be announcing the finalists a little later.
In a little bit. But again, this is very, very promising because you want to encourage more students, not just students, like Dr. Orge. He stepped up on his own, and this is already from one of the institutes. But this can also go all the way to student level, college level. That if you have some sort of group, because your first batch of winners were from different universities, right? They're doctors, granted already, but even in a student level, they can actually submit ideas, right? How does it go? This nomination process
Right.
and looking for winners.
For the prize for engineering excellence, the eligibility would be for those who are practicing engineers
Already.
for at least 10 years.
Ooh,
for at
okay.
least 10 years. And they should already have an innovation or a project that they have already implemented and should have already an impact to the communities or
this-
to the common good in the country in general.
So you're really thinking of nation building, of
Yes.
impacting communities and
Correct.
nations. Hindi lang pwede ideas.
That's correct.
It has to be ongoing on
It
its
has
own.
to be proven and tested already.
Okay.
So that is why we are not just recognizing the project itself, but we are also recognizing the engineers who should be somehow, in terms of profession, should be glamorized, should be awarded, should be recognized. Because we know for a fact that engineers arguably provide a lot of contribution to nation building.
Definitely, and unfortunately, they're not highlighted nga. So far, we've only talked about water, rice. Metallurgical is valuable when it comes to infrastructures. Am I right?
Yes. Civil engineers, metallurgical provide the materials, but
But you're not architects, no?
No.
This is not architect work. This is
all engineers. We used to have architects in our group,
okay.
but because of international definitions, we had to shed some of the technology professionals from the PTC, Philippine Technological Council.
Okay.
Right now we are 13 organizations, so there are 13 different engineering fields. who
Can
are
we break it
members.
down for them? Just again,
Yeah,
so far
we
we've
have-
talked about water and
I'll start with the agricultural and biosystems engineers. We have the aerospace engineers.
aerospace,
Yes,
meaning for
the
aviation. like-
aviation.
Aviation.
Yes,
So people working in airlines, planes?
airlines.
Okay.
Yes, planes. Chemical engineers, civil engineers, electrical engineers, electronic engineers.
For gadgets. That's a big thing also.
Yes. Of course, metallurgical engineers, mechanical engineers, mining engineers,
Mining
naval
as well.
architects, and marine engineers.
Marketing.
This is a very specialized field. These are engineers who design sea transport.
Sea transportation. Okay.
And of course, we have the very special group, sanitary engineers. These are the guys who design systems for water systems, for sanitation, etc.
Everything Mr. Monsada, Engineer Monsada just said is what you see around you. So why can't you nominate someone, especially if it works in your barangay or in your city? It doesn't matter where you are, be it in Ilocos or all the way down to Davao. Alam mo, may magandang proyekto po sa lugar namin. At si engineer ganyan po ang behind it. That's how they can nominate. Am
That's
I
true.
right,
Yeah, that's
Mr.
true.
Andal?
Yes, yes. So if you have a family member or a colleague or anyone that you know in the community who have made a significant innovation to solve a specific problem, they can always recommend and nominate these engineers for the prize for engineering excellence.
From the nomination process, what do you need to submit?
All right. So from the nomination process, of course, just like for this third run, we have opened the nomination last February 12, 2019. And the nomination period run until around June 28, 2019. And after which, They will go through an assessment process. Part of that is the panel presentation as semi-finalists. And
You have
this
to
was
defend it both
that's-
verbally.
Of course, yeah. About, of course, the personal background and, of course, the project that they have invented. And it was conducted last September 13.
Oh, that's a lot of
And-
time from Feb to September to really just filter all
That's
the work
correct.
submitted.
Yes. And we have a number of judges who have done the assessment, also from the OST, from PTC, also from Association of Foundation, and even from the academe. And after that, we will be announcing today the finalists who will be subjected to field validation, and then they will now be subjected to a final interview that will be done on November 13, 2019. And whoever will be the awardees will be announced during the 15th anniversary of the Manila Water Foundation on February 28, 2020.
Okay, that's for next year.
Yes.
So there's still quite a little way to go, halfway there. But you're not just looking for one awardee.
Yes.
Like the first time you did it in 2015, 5
Yes,
awardees.
every round we could have a maximum of 5 awardees.
And last 2017 was just 1.
Yes.
So now you have 6 finalists. It can reach to 5 awardees maximum, or who knows, maybe only 1 will be awarded. But either way, from 12 this year down to 6 finalists, it's been a promising year, this 2019.
Yes, yes. And we have been encouraging a lot of engineers who have really made an invention or innovation for that matter, so that they could also join for future runs of the Prize for Engineering Excellence.
So if you were able to join like in 2015, 2017, but didn't get the award like this 2019, can you resubmit your project for next year? Is that possible?
Yes, it is possible. Actually, we had one semi-finalist this third run who has been a finalist in 2015.
There you go.
Yes.
Because there, of course, with your projects, it doesn't stop innovating
That's
anywhere,
correct.
right?
That's correct.
That's actually a proof of the sustainability of your project,
Yes, yes.
right? That you'll always find extra solutions or better ways to do it.
That's correct.
Who do you need support from? Because again, these are private initiatives, right? You started pretty much on your own, Dr. Orge, or even with you, Mr. Engineer Monsada. When you see all these engineers just simply doing their work, they can't do it alone. So how can you ask for support, especially now that some people are watching? Who can support you?
Actually, engineering is almost always a teamwork.
Okay.
Always a teamwork. It involves not only the engineer himself, it also involves technologists and technicians. So what we do at PTC is to make sure that our members, the 13 organizations, I missed to mention geodetic engineers and industrial engineers,
Wow, dami.
and to encourage them to work together and cross-discipline. Not
Yeah.
only mechanical, working by himself, but we ask them to work
With each other.
closely with each other. And maybe it's worth noting now that our battle cry for 2020 is leadership, excellence, ethics in engineering education, accreditation, practice, and services. And we push this among our 13 members and reaching as far as the Middle East, the US, Australia, New Zealand, as well as our barangays, as you said.
Because again, you have to affect the community.
Yes.
But beyond the 13 organizations, if you are continuing to look for support, what kind of support would that be? Government support, private sector?
There are 2 advocacies of BTC.
Okay.
One in education, the other one in practice. And for education, we work very closely with CHED, the Commission on Higher Education, and we are pushing, together with them, the level of our qualifications of graduates. On the other side, in practice, we work very closely with the Professional Regulation Commission. To some extent, we receive some grants.
Grants.
Yes, but these are only for, initial works. The rest,
Kayo-kayo na lang.
yes, kami-kami. Yung 13 grupo.
Maybe that's why
And
more
yes.
private funding, or at least private companies can hire them, at least
Right.
from their ideas, your
Yes.
pool of ideas, 13 organizations. Can you just imagine what these 13 organizations could come up with to at least help the private sector,
Yes.
especially with different businesses to operate?
Right.
Am I right with that one?
And to really have a sustainable, meaningful, and collective impact in all of the interventions that we provide, Engineer Monsada is correct. Education, practice. But another one should be regulation.
Ah, yes, very
regulation.
important.
That is why we're very much helpful to DOST, who has a lot of programs encouraging engineers and innovators to submit projects that can be given grants by the government. And also, kudos to our legislators and to President Duterte right now, because recently they have passed the law in terms of the Balik Scientist Law and the Philippine Innovation Act. These are just some of the regulations that would help and encourage more innovators from the country.
And we need more of that to encourage people that, hey, there's something for you. There's something for you. In fact, Dr. Orge, this award changed your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. How? How did all this being an awardee, not just under the Manila Water Foundation, but even this Lingkod Bayan award change your life?
Actually, just made me have that idea to work more, to strive
Nainganyo
more.
pa siya, di ba?
Para bang there was a time na parang naghihintay na lang ng retirement.
Oh.
But I have this passion really to help farmers. Kaya ako nagstay sa government service. So, ang isa sa mga significant natatawag ko siguro
Effect.
milestone sa life ko, yung pagpanalo ko sa MWF. Kasi that was the time na-recognize yung mga efforts, yeah. Not only as an individual, but yung profession.
Yeah.
Kasi masasabi ko siguro na ang profession namin ay hindi siya ganun kakilala. Agricultural engineering is not like other professions na kilala. We are engineers na nandoon sa agriculture, nandoon sa farm, trying to provide solutions to any agricultural problem na ranasan ng farmer. So, hindi siya yung tipong nasa front line ng mga engineering profession. Parang ganun ang feeling ko at that time. But when this award came, and hindi lang ako natutuwa, pati society namin.
Yeah. And I'm sure all the farmers and everyone around you are encouraged.
Yeah. In fact, yung cooperative, merong isang co-op doon na pinuntahan during that background investigation. Tuwang-tuwa din sila, actually. In fact, nakarating pa sila doon sa awarding. I was not imagining na mapunta pala sila doon, yung isang cooperative na yun.
Yeah.
That was just one of the 6 cooperatives na gamit yung technology na develop.
I like how Dr. Orge talaga nabuhay siya. When I asked, how did this change your life? It really did you see just how happy? And hindi lang siya. Yung sinabi niyang mga cooperative,
Right.
pumunta rin sila. So again, see the impact of one engineer or one team to a whole community. And this is again what Manila Water Foundation would like to keep doing.
That's right.
So have we come to the moment then that let's reveal?
Yes.
Because I'm also curious now, you already said water and again rice. So let's see what 2019's batch has brought. Because again, with each nomination, it talks of a very relevant issue that's happening, especially in our country. So let's see what these finalists are bringing to the table to address these issues.
Yeah, thank you, Isa. And of course, would like to thank also Rappler, because I hope this could be one way of telling the people that there are a lot of innovations that engineers are doing. One of the main issues as well is in terms of having to put these ideas into practice, the commercialization. So that's why Manila Water Foundation is trying to promote as well these projects and innovations, so it could really reach to the areas that it is needed most.
Yes.
Because if you have the idea, if we have the innovation, but it would not reach the marginalized communities that it is intended to serve, the
Sayang lang.
innovation is nothing.
Yes.
That is why for this year, for 2019 run, we have received 12 entries, 12 nominations, and we're so happy hearing all the innovations that they have done. And Manila Water Foundation is pleased now to inform the finalist for this third run of the Manila Water Foundation Prize for Engineering Excellence. Again, this is a program in partnership with the Department of Science and Technology and the Philippine Technological Council. So let me announce now
Here we go.
the finalists for the 2019 Manila Water Foundation Prize for Engineering Excellence. The first one, whose invention is a bottle net life jacket. This would help in terms of disaster preparedness.
Oh, we need that nowadays.
Yes. So he is from the Carlos Hilado Memorial State College, Talisay Campus. Congratulations to Engineer Ray Ramos.
Woohoo! Congratulations, Engineer Ray Ramos.
Yes.
Again, especially now when it comes to disaster preparedness, all the way down to grade school level, they all need these like grab bags and other things. So it's nice to add
Right.
to be able, being prepared is better than just
And this invention also helps in terms of somehow the reduction of the plastic wastes. As you would see later on, if you'll be able to show to everyone the life jacket that he has done, and nandun talaga is the PET bottles with all the plastics. So, simple thing, pero made by an innovator and a scientist, an engineer, marami mapapagamitan itong life jacket na to.
Okay.
Because a life jacket would cost how much? Like around 7,000 to 12,000. But this one that would just cost around 500 to 1,000.
okay. Well, this is good for be it shipping, again, airlines.
That's correct.
So
Yeah.
cool. Okay.
The second
congratulations.
finalist, also from the Philippine Rice Research Institute.
Hey, very impressed, Dr. Orge. Oh.
Of course, from Science City of Muñoz, Nueva Ecija. His invention is the rice husk Gasifier technology, another use of the rice husk.
Okay.
And let's congratulate, of course, Engineer Alexis Belonio.
Engineer
Congratulations.
Alexis Belonio, congratulations. Again, just because it's right there, it's seen as trash. Think of ways. What did he think of this one then, of rice husks?
Well, the same thing from the idea of Dr. Orge. Rice husk, as it is already a waste. But if you can put them into another use, that it would even help in the adaptation of climate change and even the managing wastes, definitely it would even help a lot of marginalized communities. So ito yung parang gas talaga na pwedeng magamit even the households, small households, just by using the rice
Can
husks.
run engines,
It
a
can run-
substitute for gasoline. Gasoline machine.
Wow. Okay, again, see the alternatives, the options.
Right.
Cool.
The third one,
Congratulations.
of course, is a professor from Cavite State University whose invention is the Bravura coffee roasting machine.
Coffee roasting.
Yes.
Coffee roasting.
Who doesn't want drinking coffee, di ba?
Exactly.
Oo.
Bravura.
Yes. And in the Philippines, nung una, tayo ang biggest producer in Asia
Yes.
ng coffee.
Actually.
But right now, hindi na ngayon. That is why this invention would help, of course, somehow, the more production of coffee and, of course, how to be able to commercialize them. And the engineer, of course, let's congratulate Dr. Ruel Mojica.
Dr.
Congratulations.
Ruel Mojica, congratulations. Again, this is nice on local levels that you don't necessarily have to be the big companies and you don't have to just be stuck as a seed producer,
right.
but at least the roasting process and all that. You're basically helping your own industry.
Yes,
Right? So
yes.
congratulations to you.
All right.
3 more.
Yes. Our fourth finalist is an engineer from the University of the Philippines, Los Baños. Very interesting project, which is a drying system for seaweeds.
Seaweed.
Yes.
Okay.
Before kasi kapag ang seaweed, before then, the Philippines is the top producer of seaweeds. Ngayon, naunahan na tayo ng mga neighboring countries natin. Bakit? Kasi the process that we do with seaweeds is, nandyan lang yung buhanginan, and then we just place the seaweeds there.
Binibilad lang.
Binibilad lang.
Yeah.
Pero the ones who are buying seaweeds, sinasabi, marumi ang seaweeds natin. So this engineer made an invention, a simple invention but really helpful for the seaweed industry para mas mapatuyo natin ang seaweeds ng mas mabuti, maayos, and of course, any time of the day, pwede tayo makaproduce ng mas maraming seaweeds. So let's congratulate, of course, Dr. Ronel Pangan. Congratulations.
Dr. Ronel Pangan, congratulations. This will be great for, again, the coastal industries.
That's
diba?
correct. That's correct.
Congratulations.
So we're last down to 2. We have, of course, the next one, which is the Supervising Science Research Specialist from the Philippine Center for Post-Harvest Development and Mechanization. Yan.
Okay.
Kilala niyo ulit, Dr. Orge.
Familiar,
And his
guys.
invention is the compact corn mill and impeller rice mill.
Cornmeal naman ngayon.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's congratulate Dr. Michael Gragasin.
Dr. Michael Gragasin, congratulations. I like that the agricultural side seems
Yes.
to be, of engineering, seems to be very active
Correct,
here on this.
correct.
So cornmeal is different from, of obviously, rice, husks. Cornmeal's also a throwaway product ba?
No, it's grain. Wala siya masyadong byproduct na galing sa grain, mostly sa. But yung paggiling, yung to convert it into small particles, yung buong butil.
Para maging like
Bigas.
flour.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's what his invention's about.
Yes, very inventive way of how to produce more corn mills and rice.
Okay.
Yan,
And we need that, feed the country.
Right.
Yeah.
And the last finalist that we have for the third round of the Prize for Engineering Excellence from the School of Civil, Environmental, and Geological Engineering of the Mapua University, whose invention is the Universal Structural Health Evaluation and Recording System. This is very interesting kasi sabi nga natin, we're preparing for the big one.
Yes.
Right? Pero wala pa tayong sistema ngayon that could assess the health of the infrastructure that we have.
Oh, we need that.
Yan.
Because makakarinig ka na lang na gumunaw.
Yun na. After that, yun
Wala
na. Saka
na.
mo na lang nalaman na
Ito, wala na
may
pala.
lindol.
Kailangan
Oo.
pala. So
Correct.
this one is preventive.
Preventive. So anytime it could assess the structural health of any building.
Nice. And again, this is where infrastructure.
Yes.
Proud dito si Engineer Monsada dahil that's his field naman. So far, field ni Dr. Orge kanina lahat. Ang daming agriculture.
Right. So let's congratulate, of course, our sixth finalist. We have Dr. Francis Aldrin Uy.
Dr. Francis Aldrin Uy, congratulations. Congratulations to the 6 finalists of the Manila Water Foundation's Prize for Engineering Excellence. And as you heard, be it from life jackets to cornmeals and rice husks to
Infrastructure,
the
building.
infrastructure,
Yes.
it's everywhere. Can you just think of the different ideas? Actually, naghihintay ako ng water, ha? Walang water this year.
There was one of the semi-finalists. But there's a need to improve further that innovation.
Maybe 2 years from now.
That's correct.
Right? Tsaka transport. Wala akong narinig ng transport.
Yun.
Well, that's another thing we need
That's
now.
what we've been
Transport
waiting for.
hike pa man din
Yeah.
today, di ba? How can we address these problems? So, but either way, the ones that have submitted and made it this far, very, very promising.
Right.
What do these 6 finalists need to do before the announcement of winners in February next year?
All right. Now that they have been announced as finalists, they will now be subjected to the field validation, all right, or the background investigation, and then they will now be facing the final interview on November 13, and after which we will be having the announcement of the awardees on February 28, 2020. And there are a lot of prizes at stake here. Of course, we have the special medal. We have a special trophy, which is, of course, created by Don Jaime Zobel de Ayala.
Himself.
Yep. And the third one is, of course, the 500,000 pesos.
I was waiting for that. Because the thing is, of course, this is not just for the sake of getting an award or recognition. You deserve a cash prize.
That's correct.
Definitely. And Manila Water Foundation is giving it. That's why, please, we encourage a lot more engineers out there, submit work, be proud of your work. And again, just because you didn't make the finals this year, it just means your work is a continuous work of progress or in progress, right? So we salute Manila Water Foundation. Before I let you gentlemen go, any last words for all of our audiences who are watching here via Rappler? Because this is one thing we do want to put the word out, not just to encourage, but really you are needed by your country, right?
There are a lot of developmental issues in the country. And as we see in our homes, in our offices, a lot of things that we're now using are modern technologies. So here, Manila Water Foundation Prize for Engineering Excellence is encouraging everyone to really adopt to and embrace innovations. Right now, based on a study of the Global Innovation Index, we're at the last among our neighboring countries in terms of innovation.
Let's change that, shall
Let's
we?
change that. Let's now, of course, embrace and encourage more innovation because arguably this is one of the main components that we need so that we could further develop our country and build our nations.
And again, many thanks to Manila Water Foundation for helping just initiate these efforts to be able to make everybody step up to the challenge. Thank you very much, Mr. Andal. Engineer Monsada?
Yeah, PTC has been working for the recognition of the qualifications of engineers, even at the very young age, while they are getting their education. And this work that we are doing is to make sure that up-and-coming engineers will have the ability to solve complex engineering problems, innovate as may be necessary, and make sure that this will be operated, whether it's a product or a process or a system, this will be operated as sustainably as possible, and make sure that they contribute to the national development, especially of the Philippines.
There you go.
Because right now we have, as I've said a while ago, we have about 150 to 200,000 engineering professionals outside of the country, contributing especially to the development of the Middle East countries. So when they come back, I'm pretty sure they get a lot of expertise. And so we take care of them, the working engineers. We are also taking care of the up-and-coming engineers. And we are very happy that we have partnered with the Manila Water Foundation to recognize the excellence, the excellent work of engineers, as well as all engineering professionals. And we hope, and we are calling all engineers, engineering professionals, to prepare yourself for the next round because medyo late na kayo dito sa round na to.
Right.
Yeah. And
2021.
we have started, actually, the other day, we had a board meeting and we started getting at least one from each
of the organizations.
13.
Wow,
Ayan.
thank you.
Talagang palaki ang numbers ng entries. Cool. Thank you. Well said, Engineer Monsada. And finally, Dr. Orge.
Siguro I just make use of this opportunity to encourage lahat ng engineers, maging all professions, engineering professions. I know we engineers are trained to solve problems, create solutions to societal problems. Doon natin magagamit, maraming problema ang ating bansa. Kung saan kayong profession, you try to address problems na nandoon sa forte nyo. For agricultural engineers, we continue on helping farmers. Kahit yung mga ibang profession, if you have the opportunity to help our farmers, do it. Kasi
They need it.
they need it really,
Yes.
lalo na sa panahong ito.
Yes. Thank you very, very much. To wrap things off, I know like what Engineer Monsada said, tapos na for 2019. But Mr. Andal, when can they start for 2021?
All right. So we'll be recognizing our awardees on 2020.
Yes.
And we will be starting the promotion in 2021. So
Okay.
they could start submitting their entries and even applications for the
Alright.
prize for engineering excellence.
But the work starts now.
Correct.
Don't wait till then. It has to be something that's already ongoing. So improve on what you already have and then submit. Thank you very, very
Thank you,
much,
Isa.
gentlemen. Again, Mr. Reginald Andal, Engineer Federico Monsada, and Dr. Ricardo Orge. My name's Isa Leton. Thank you very much for joining us for today's roundtable discussion, again, championing our Filipino engineers. Have a good Monday, everybody.